Welcome to the Transform Sales Podcast, where forward-thinking business leaders come to share their experiences and ideas, learn from each other, and amplify their results together.
What's up, everybody? Amir Reiter, the host of the Transform Sales Service Provider Podcast. I see the cringing look on Michael's face. He doesn't like my introduction, but this is the kind of relationship I have with Michael. Mike, what's up, man? How's it going? Yeah. I'm going to do a post about it, but basically my first interaction with Michael was I think he was using his service on me, and I told him, no, I'm not interested. He put me on his kill list, waited 5 years to kill me, confronted me at SaaStr, said, I hate you, and then 2 minutes later we became friends because I apologized like a mensch, looked him in the eye, shook his hand, and said, I'm sorry. And the truth is I was sorry. I didn't want to be rude. So, Michael, I appreciate you for giving me the opportunity not only to rekindle our new friendship, but also to host you here and especially to help people find full throttle leads when they have the business strategy software. What's up, Mike? How are you? Talk to me.
Good to see you. Good to see you. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man, it's my pleasure. So in this episode, guys, like I said before, we like to get these high energy, high octane founders who generate millions of dollars of pipeline for their clients to talk about their offerings. And today, we're going to talk specifically about your lead generation service that is for enterprise clients, in which you use email and LinkedIn and do 25,000 monthly touch points, which is a lot, man. So you're going to have to walk us through all these touch points that you got. And that's where we want to start this show, right? So talk to me about this listing guide. Like, what is this offering all about? What business challenges are your buyers typically coming from? And and then I'll get to the next question.
Sure. Basically, I do LinkedIn automation, email automation, and then I do these roundtable masterminds, which are like TEDx talks. The whole idea on all three of those is to try to generate top of funnel leads. The automation approach is a repeatable and scalable approach. And if you sit there and invite the people to a roundtable, a mastermind, even a podcast like this, it's a great place to learn about what they do and why they do it versus pitch slapping them on email or LinkedIn. So my whole thing is to create some content around that, create some networking events, and then basically sit there and have a roundtable cohort around that approach. I send out about 20 to 30,000 emails a month and about 4,500 to 5,000 activities on LinkedIn per profile, and that produces 10 to 30 meetings, sales qualified meetings per month.
I love it. So essentially, buyers have the business challenge of not enough qualified meetings, not enough pipeline for their kind of executives, long enterprise sales cycle, and you leverage masterminds and automation and email to either drive qualified meetings or drive them through the content, which makes sense. I like it. Talk to me about an alternative. Like, for the most part, what were your clients using to penetrate these accounts before hiring your agency?
They were hiring SDRs. They were hiring third-party companies out of the country to do it. A lot of the people that do this stuff, they are kids, the first-time job. They're not necessarily in the country that the company's selling at. So you would definitely want to have a automation approach for top of funnel, and then teach people how to cultivate discovery calls and sell, put the human back in the human behavior and use that to business date. But the whole opening of the door should be, hey, I'm producing a mastermind roundtable around this event. You guys are experts in this. I want to get your sellers and buyers inside this cohort, this roundtable, this mastermind, and ask them to give 2 tips about what's working. Obviously, at the beginning of the show,
Mike, can I ask a question? If I'm pausing you because you're the man and you're fucking quick. So basically, the alternative was the challenge, right? The alternative is that they're hiring unqualified kids and they're hiring offshore agencies that are low quality. And the challenge itself was that those low quality agencies or inexperienced reps were not getting the job done.
Yeah, or they turn over within 6 to 12 months because they need a lot of hand-holding. They
keep getting stronger.
What?
You just keep getting stronger. And you do. You can see there's always some truth in something. While they're getting weaker, Mike is getting stronger. It's really simple. I think you got into a little bit of this, right? Like highlighting some of the key features of your service to help users overcome the challenge that you mentioned, right? And obviously, for anybody who's listening, he looks great for almost being 85. So he's got 65 years of experience?
Yeah, 65, 70, give or take another 20.
Yeah. So he just crushing it, and he's crushing the young guys because he exercises every day. So he might look young for his age, but he's only got about an hour before he goes to down. I'm just kidding, Mike. I'm just joking. Talk to us a little bit about the key features, as you mentioned, and especially it's spelled out right in the listing. Right, we're doing 25,000 monthly touch points. Talk to me about like the key features of your service.
Key features would be is automation. It doesn't quit. It doesn't get tired. It doesn't complain, right? So we automate. It's repeatable and scalable. Anytime you do SaaS or have a service, you need to have something that's repeatable and scalable. Then you got to have a message that is about them. What do they do? How do they do it? You know, what helps them connect with their buyers? The whole idea there is if you're doing it one by one, you're never going to get your scale up. A Salesforce basically developed this SDR approach 25 years ago where they feed the sellers. Well, now you're using a lot of AI. AI is becoming too drowned out in the community. So how do you use AI, tech, automation to drive actually something that's real, which is an event? It could be a live event like a roundtable. Could be this type of thing like a podcast. Could be, hey, we're going to be at a conference. We're going to be at CES. Let's get together while we're there. Like what you and I have a bunch of meetings set up because we use some automation to kind of get that set up. And then we do our magic of trying to talk to people. So,
yeah. So also at the end of the day, like if I tie this back to also like the challenges that your customers experienced before, it was almost that they were hiring young SDRs or offshore and they were going straight for the meeting because they weren't really, that's their offering, right? Where it sounds like a key feature of your offering is not only the fact that you're able to deliver a high volume of high quality messages via email and LinkedIn, but it's also the fact that you build and manage these roundtables, which is like an in between a potential lead becoming a prospect and a customer. And that's unique because if a company hires a young guy as an SDR and the young SDR says, hey, I want to do a roundtable, they're probably not going to get approved. They don't have experience hosting it. Or if they hire an agency that's only just hitting the phones and emails, they don't have that delivery mechanism of a roundtable. Would you say that is also a key feature of your success? That you're able to?
Yeah,
I want that you hate. I'm not going to use it. Though. I'm going to be respectful of that hated word, but that let's call it that intermediary roundtable.
The roundtable. I asked them, hey, you want to join the roundtable? Great. Do you want to have a one-on-one to discuss your role in the roundtable? Guess what? That's really a discovery call. So you're going to find out what the pains are. And then if they don't do the pre-call, they're going to get on the roundtable and we're going to say, hey, this is the best practices that we learned. We got, one or two people on there that's kind of leading the show. I'm usually the MC. And then we basically say, listen, Steve, I saw your head nodding a lot. What's 2 tactics that you learned that worked very well or just 2 tactics that really bombed? So that the rest of the cohort roundtable here can understand what works, what doesn't. So we're using a brain melt, a roundtable approach to discuss what works and what doesn't. It's not just about the people running it, because that's a webinar, that's a seminar, whatever it is. Make it about your audience, and then they network, and then basically they learn about what you do and why you do it, and they will hire you at one point when the time comes. But you got to stop pitch slapping people on email, LinkedIn, and that's what automation is typically done. And I don't do it that way. I use content-driven approach of why should you talk to Michael Falato or one of my clients. And it's all done in your look and feel. So the roundtable is coming from you. The email is coming from lookalike domains. So we don't pick your domain. And your LinkedIn, I automate that. So you have 2,000 connections. You should have 20,000, right? Not you, but I have 30,000. So you should be building up your own credibility on LinkedIn every day. And if you're not
with me, that was a Michael competition, wasn't it? No, I listen. For me, it makes complete sense, right? Basically, within this automation that you're doing, people might just be like, I want to meet with you, right? But that's their choice, right? Yep. Ultimately, it's getting them to the round table to build this. And this is why you're for the enterprise, right? This is how the 7-figure deals are going down, right? They're not going down with an offer on email, 35% coupon.
Yeah.
They're going down because you build a relationship, trust, you highlight their expertise, and you get to know them in a safe environment. And that is a safe environment for you as a roundtable.
Yeah, it's I call it business dating. Like you're gonna say you're trying to meet somebody. You're not gonna sit there and let's go on a cruise.
That's exactly what I thought.
Yeah.
What came to my mind.
Let's go. Let's have a cup of coffee. Let's get to know each other. See if there's a fit. Okay, great. There's a fit. Let's go on a date. It's just the same thing as dating, but it's business dating. So don't go for the kill.
How we went from being enemies to being friends. We sat at a round table. We sat at a smaller table.
I don't like you still. I just want to admit that. I'm just kidding.
You just don't make money. That's all good, man. But it was a round table. We had a mute on that table. It was really an interesting scene out of a comedy.
Yeah.
I'll tell you about
we were at SaaStr and the guy lost his voice, so he's writing down questions, and Amir and I were talking about all this stuff. It was kind of
talking SHIT, right? And then this guy, it was funny because I went to the bathroom, the guy wrote the paper, goes, at least he said he's sorry, which is just hilarious. So we scared everybody else in the room, but that happens, right? From a task deliverable and or people involved in setting up a service, how long does it typically take to reach full productivity? Like when do you launch the first roundtable after a contract signs? Talk to me about like this whole process.
It's usually 30 days you want to wait until you get the roundtable going because you have to draw the audience in from LinkedIn and email. Your LinkedIn automation should go up the first day we sign a contract, statement of work. The email usually takes a couple of weeks to get that dialed in because you have to set up the DNS, the DMARC, the DKIM, the SPF, the MX records. That's what my engineer does. So we're starting to get things going day one, but you have to warm up the IP address and the DNS and all that stuff for email. And if you can't really use a new LinkedIn profile or fake LinkedIn profile, so you got to be comfortable with automating your LinkedIn and having me doing it, which most people are. And then you got to look at it like, listen, if I do this for my AEs or SDRs, they're going to have 10,000 connections if I do this for a couple of years for them, and that's going to make them a better candidate in the future for another job. So the people that they have working for them should gladly take this for free from their employer because it's going to help their LinkedIn credibility overall over the next couple of years.
Makes sense. KPIs. What are they? How do they measure success? Is it connection increases, visibility, leads, revenue? What are they looking for here?
All those, but the bottom line is, are they getting meetings? Because that's kind of what I position. Like this is going to help you get meetings faster. So that's the number one. I would say B, you have to close those leads. So you got to be able to have a good salesperson. The open rates, the click rates, reply rates, A/B testing, all those are other KPIs. On LinkedIn, it's definitely connection. On email, it's what's the open reply rates? Is it deliverability there? And then the roundtables, you should probably do 1 or 2 a month max. You don't want to do it every week, and if you do it more often than once or twice a month, make sure you segment your audience for like one might be for CROs, one might be for CMOs, one might be for founders, whatever you do. But just always take your head out of it and go, I understand this, but if I wasn't in this space, does this message resonate with somebody? And gut check it with someone else.
We went through this quite fast. I'm going to ask you a bonus question. What are your top 3 industries you serve and why?
I would say tech, mostly SaaS, because those are ones that are just gathering money in seed rounds of Series A's. That's the ones being funded. They need to grow fast. So those make sense. I work with even an old school paper company that sells Conger Group paper. So a lot of them don't know what they're doing. They're doing things old school. So the people that this is the way we've always done it. Need something to change up. The AEs just doing their own lead gen. So that's another one. And the third one is people that are going to trade shows a lot. They're looking for leads. It's a no-brainer. So why wouldn't I hit up exhibitors and go, hey, do this trade show, but have a plan before you get there. Have 20, 30 meetings. Maybe you don't need a 50-foot booth. Maybe you need a 10 by 10. And I set up meetings. Everybody that walks by your booth is not a person that you want to sell to. So make a plan to strategically get the right people to either meet with you in the hallway there in the little table or meet at your booth. But don't think that spending $100,000 at a trade show is going to get you huge leads just because you have the presence. If you have the budget, great, but there's better ways of doing this. and I'm basically $3,000 to $5,000 a month, which is what you pay a kid to do SDR work. And I do 3 to 4x more than they can do. And I'm 30 something years in the business. They're usually 25 years old. So I'm been doing it longer than they've been alive.
I'm gonna be 42 tomorrow, bro. I'm almost getting there, man. I'm always getting there. Mike, I love your energy. I like your service. And I have a very good understanding of how you help buyers. I hope that people that have been watching this, whether they're seeing it, through different media or actually seeing it on the CloudTask marketplace attached to your listing, I hope that they find this valuable. And I most certainly appreciate you taking the time to talk about your offering. What's the best way for people to follow you? I'm like, obviously they can't just wait for you to swipe right, where the ding, I got like a little thing, right? Where can they find you? Is it LinkedIn or
Yeah, FullThrottleFalatoLeads.com is the best place to check out what I do, and my phone number's on there, all that stuff, and my email and my calendar. So that's good. I also have obviously a LinkedIn profile. Obviously, if you want to work with a veteran-owned business, I think that's a plus. When you hire those types of people that serve the country, just remember, like, the Full Throttle nickname is who I am and what I do. I don't think, even if you look at companies that do lead gen, if they either hiring kids internally an SDR team, or you're basically going to hire a bunch of kids at a company that does SDR work that are still kids and big turnover. So I would love to work with you, but first I'm going to understand your business before I tell you what I could do and see if it's a good fit first.
Mike? I love you. You're the man. Talk
All right.
soon.
See ya.
See you, buddy.